Wait. Listen, before you even try to assume that I'm a simp or I'm a beta male, hear me out. Because I see where you're coming from, all right? So before you assume something by the title, hear me out for a second, all right? Make sure you like the video. Now, before we get into this, I have been seeing for the past week or so concerning this whole topic concerning black men getting their passports. Let's get into it.
And this is why men are running to get their passport to go overseas and find wives who can think things through logically.
All right. You dating coaches pick this fight with us. We ain't gonna stop. Us passport dudes gonna keep coming back. We don't respect your work.
Divorce rate is down there 60%, and you still got idiots out there encouraging people to get married, which is, pretty messed up in my opinion.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to black men. I don't know about a man of color or anything. I don't care. I'm speaking my message directly to black men. I refuse to be a cut boy cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Clean come from other men. You know what I'm saying?
Passport ASAP. Thank you, Danica, for your continued support for us black men.
New, right? You got a lot of brothers saying, we the passport brothers and we going overseas and we leaving y'all behind and all of this. So this is not anything that's new. However, with me getting such a major increase in brothers expressing this, I thought it would be very important for me to touch base on it, not just because of that reason though, but also because, like the brother said in the email, a lot of these sisters don't give a fuck about black men until they see somebody else with them.
Feel the need to leave out the country to go find other women.
Singing about their passports and saying to move to the country. But do you think a lot of men can survive in these third world countries?
Just on a realistic level, it depends on if you're educated to know that there are black people in other places other than just America. Sometimes I like to fight with y'all, but overall there are black people everywhere. So they're not necessarily saying, go get these type of black women, because I hear different cultures who are on these podcasts for either from England, different places, and especially in the UK, they have westernized issues in their women as well, that a lot of the times they don't even allow certain shows or certain things to be played because they feel like America is encouraging their women to act a certain way that other countries don't like.
So we're going to talk about this from two different perspectives, right? So first and foremost, let me give you a little background on myself. I have been continuously in relationships with Caribbean women, Haitian, Jamaican, even as far as, the little islands and so on and so forth, Bahamas and all that type of stuff, right? So I have had my fair share in what we call foreign women. I've even, messed around with Nigerian, Cameroon, Congolese, South African, Kenyan, Ethiopian. So I've had my fair share in what we call foreign women from the UK, women from Russia. I even talked to a black woman from Germany. So before y'all even try and say I need to go travel somewhere, whatever, I've had my fair share in a lot of women. All right. I ain't saying I was out there like that, right? But in the past 5 years, I've had relationships. I've met a lot of people, even throughout my college years, of these different types of women. All these black women from different variations and from different places. And they were all good women for the most part, And I think where we have to get to an understanding, and I always talk about this in many of my videos, is that when it concerns this concept of getting your passport to go off and find you somebody, I hear you, right? And so my first perspective on this is I see where you're coming from. If you feel like that you're not wanted in the area that you're at, and you feel like that there's an opportunity for you to go to the Caribbeans or to go off into the motherland and find you a good black woman, then do so by all means, right? But at the same time, we also have to evaluate your mentality. We have to evaluate your motive. We have to evaluate, are you doing this out of a good heart? Because where I'm seeing this motive come from is the same where you have women who talk about divesting and talking about they're done with black men. But you have these men out here who are saying they're not done with black women. They're just done with black women in America. But at the same time, you're being programmed through social media to see black women a certain type of way because of this modern day woman concept. And also you haven't healed from the trauma in terms of how you perceive black women in your own country, in your own household, in your own arena, your own environment, because of how you was raised up, because of how you see your mother and your grandmother or your auntie or those mother figures in your life. A lot of black men have been traumatized by this angry, independent black woman all their life. And so they perceive black women in America the same way that they perceive their mother in most cases. Because if their mother was loudmouth and big head and all this other type of stuff, and they see a woman who even to the bare minimum, they immediately turn away. But see, when you're going overseas, are you carrying those burdens with you as well? When you cast away the American black women, as you like to call it, are you casting away your mother and your grandmother and all them too? Who fits into this category of bad women? And for me, my perception is there's going to be bad women everywhere. Wherever you go throughout this world, you're always going to find bad women. There's a lot of mental evaluation that has to go on when it concerns these men who want to cross over and go overseas. Even more so, I'm not seeing too many men, giving men the blueprint or the plan on what to do when doing this life-changing. Like, it's not just like you can just, I'm just going to cross overseas and get my passport and just live my best life in the Philippines and live my best life in Brazil. There's a long process, like where are you going to live and how are you going to maintain, food and resources and money? Like, how are you going to get used to the environment? Because this isn't the same environment as living up in Brooklyn or living downtown in Chicago or living in Atlanta. You have to get used to the people and understand where the black people there as well, and the culture. you can't just walk up and leave. Like, it's just not that easy. And I don't agree with the concept of running away from your problems. At the same time, I understand where you're coming from when it concerns you wanting to be loved, you wanting to be wanted. But even with my understanding of that, I have this perception that you can find a good woman in the States. You can find a good black woman. I will hope that you can. There are 41 million black people in America. Okay, and we make up 48% of that. That means there's 51% of black women. But nonetheless, there are a lot of black women that you may not know of that is out there for you. You just don't know how to find that woman. And for some reason, you have the motive to find a good black woman overseas and in the state and in the islands and so on and so forth. But somehow you don't have that same motive to think that you can find a good black woman here in the United States, because you have this perception that somehow 99% of black women in America are no good. But if you're going to say that, are you talking about your mother too? Are you talking about grandma too? Great granny and auntie and like where does this stop? Where is the boundary to, saying that black women in America just aren't any good? The same issues that black women have in America, you can still find those same issues with Caribbean women, with the women in Africa, with the women in the Europeans. They still have self-hatred issues and issues concerning their femininity as well. You may not see it as much because that's not what's being portrayed to us in the media. What's being portrayed to us in the media is that we're going to turn away from the women that we've been with for over 400 years. And even more so than that. And we want to turn away from those women that we grew up with, that we were raised from, that we were birthed from. And we're going to cross overseas and find other women who look like us, who can relate to us in some form of way or passion, but we can't relate to them culturally. We can't relate to them in terms of language. We can't relate to them in terms of the environment. And so you may not even take into consideration that clashing two different cultures together may not work out. I'm not saying it won't, because in some cases it do. But you have to take into consideration that if you haven't even healed from your past trauma, from your experiences with black women in America, how do you know you won't project that same thing onto your beloved in the overseas, in the islands? I don't think these black men take this into consideration. At least I don't hear them talk about it. But share your thoughts. Let me know how you personally feel about this in the comment section below concerning the whole matters of black men getting their passports. Getting your passport will not save you. Okay, you cannot keep running away from your problems and running away from your trauma. It's not going to help. Deal with your trauma, deal with who you are, heal, find yourself, love yourself, and maybe in that process you can find you a good black woman here in the States. Alright, but let's have a conversation about this in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this video with other people. Until next time, I'm Tyrone, and I am